It's your girl, Keri. And today I have the pleasure of collaborating with some wonderful ladies. Now, Catherine Holt over at the channel Amateur Decorating Like a Pro is hosting the Congratulations College Graduates Embarking on Your New Adult Lifestyle. And she asked a few of us to kind of cover a few topics, and my topic, which is budgeting and managing your finances for your first apartment. Now, I wanted to tackle this subject or this topic that would be relevant to most parents and young adults, because when your kids graduate, they have three options. They can either move out on their own in their own place by themselves, they can move into an apartment with, some roommates, or they can move back home. And after I'd done a little bit of research, I found that about 50% of college graduates will move back home, or at least temporarily move back home until they, get their financial footing. So with that being said, the first apartment that most college graduate students will have is their place at home. So I am going to share some tips and tricks that both the recent college grad and the parents can employ so that we can get that young adult ready financially to actually move out and move into their own space in no time. I'm going to give you a fake example of a new college grad, all of her stats, and then I'm going to play the role of the financial advisor / CPA as I give this fictitious family some tips and advice on getting your finances and your budget in order. So let me give you a little bit of background on our fictitious college graduate. Her name is Finna Be Rich. Now here's some additional stats for Finna Be Rich. She has never worked a job. This will be her first job ever. She hasn't worked as a teen or any other jobs in her entire life. So this will be her first job, and she has had zero financial responsibility. Finna Be Rich's parents wanted her to just focus on school and focus on all of her activities and extracurriculars to make sure that she was able to get into a good college. And then while she was in college, her parents also supported her because they wanted her to focus on getting good grades so that she could land a job with a great company. So Finna Be Rich's financial background is starting from scratch, zero. She has had no financial responsibility. Only 24% of 22-year-olds are financially independent. 53% of all adults under the age of 29 are not financially independent. So the most exhilarating moment in a college grad's life is when those offer letters start to roll in. And so Finna Be Rich received her offer letter, and this is what it said. It said, "Dear Finna Be Rich, on behalf of Hustle and Grind LLC, it is my pleasure to confirm our offer of employment to you as a consultant in the regulatory consulting practice of the Atlanta office. We extend this offer and the opportunity it represents with great confidence in your abilities. You made a very favorable impression with everyone you met, and we are excited about the possibility of you joining our firm. Your salary will be at the annual rate of $55,000, payable semi-monthly in installments of $2,292. Woohoo! It is time to celebrate and pop those bottles. Finna Be Rich is about to finna be rich. She has landed an awesome job offer. Now, after all the celebration, after you popped your bottles, had your graduation parties, it's time to get serious and really focus in on getting your finances together. So the first thing that I recommend Finna Be Rich to do is to not worry about, money, not worry about, her salary and things like that. We don't want to dampen the mood, but basically what I want to do is gauge where, where she is mentally, and kind of like get an idea of her ideal situation as to how she plans on living currently. And then I will match up her her ideal lifestyle to what is realistic, and then we will work from there. So I asked Finnaby Rich to write down what her ideal lifestyle goals would be. And these are the goals that Finnaby Rich expressed to me when she did this exercise. Now, the first goal she had was to have a 2-bedroom apartment in Midtown or the Atlantic Station area here in Atlanta. And the reason she gave, she said, hey, I'm a young professional. I was thinking about getting a 3-bedroom, but I realized that, that may be a little bit much for my first job. I'm going to get a 2-bedroom apartment because, the job that I have is a hybrid, work from home, go into the office. So I wanted to have a place where I could have 1 bedroom that could work as my office/guest bedroom when I have friends from out of town come over. And then I also wanted to have a bedroom so that I could separate work from home life, because working from home and work can kind of mesh together, and I didn't want that. So that's why I want a 2-bedroom apartment, and I think Midtown or the Atlantic Station area would be a great place because it's convenient to a lot of the public transportation is great. I can, go out. It's convenient to all of the nightlife, and everything that I need would be in that area. Her next goal was, she said, the only big purchase that I want is a new car. I felt that I have been driving a little hoop ride all of these years, and honestly, having a professional job as a young professional, I should have a car to match my status. And so what I figured I would compromise, because what I really want is a Range Rover, but I think a young professional like me at this stage in my life, I could settle for a Mercedes-Benz E-Class, the E350. And then her next goal was, I need a professional wardrobe. I really don't have a wardrobe that represents this new job that I have. And a wardrobe, a really nice wardrobe, will, cost a pretty penny, because red bottoms are about $700 to $900 a piece, and I have to have a good briefcase. $1,000 a month for my wardrobe and accessories until I get established. And then the next item on her list was social life. Now, what she expressed to me, Finnaby Rich said, I have to have a social life, but again, I am really looking to get promoted and climb that corporate ladder rather quickly. So I'm not going to be out every single night partying. So I reserve all of my social activities for the weekend. So here's what my ideal life would look like. On Friday nights, again, I probably work all day, so I don't really want to hang out late. So on Fridays, I'm going to save those for happy hour networking events. So I'm planning on just going to happy hours with the intentions of networking with other people, other young professionals, to make sure that I'm in the know. And what they say, it's not what you know, it's who you know, in order to climb the corporate ladder. And on Saturday, I am going out with my girls. They say work hard, play hard. So I plan, on Saturday, now we can go out to the club. We can reserve a little VIP section. We'll have our bottles of drinks and mixers and things like that. But again, now that we're all working, we can split the cost of a $500 VIP section. So if 5 of my girlfriends and myself go out on a Saturday night, that's just $100 a person. And then, on Sundays, we brunch. I want to do brunch every Sunday. I'm thinking just do something early, a brunch, get out, socialize, and then I'm back home early enough because, Mondays I have to go back to work. The next item she had on her list was hair and nails done on a consistent basis. And as far as groceries and things like that, food, it is 2022. Who really cooks these days? So I do not plan on grocery shopping. I do plan on utilizing, food delivery services like Uber and DoorDash. But I would only use, those services for lunch and dinner, because I don't eat breakfast, and that will, lower my cost. And the next item on my list, I also want to make sure that I travel. I want to have a summer vacation and a winter vacation. and then maybe a couple of little weekend getaways throughout the year. And I think that would be reasonable, to expect now that I'm making all this money. And then finally, entrepreneurship. I want to save for my own business. Because let's be honest, I do not plan on working for the man for the rest of my life. I want to get my side hustle popping, and I want to have multiple streams of income. So with that being said, I think that's a reasonable, ideal life that I could actually incorporate given the salary that I have with my new job. So after Finna Be Rich gives me her list and tells me all that she wants to do, I take a look at her list and I say, okay, Finna Be Rich, now the next exercise, we're going to have to put price tags next to each one of your ideal lifestyle goals to see how much it would cost and compare what the total figure is to what you will actually be bringing home from your job, and to see if it's realistic. Now let's take a look at all of her goals with value amounts next to them. So a 2-bedroom apartment in Midtown, an average 2-bedroom apartment in Midtown would be at minimum $2,500. A new 2021 Mercedes E350 costs $60K. So that would be a $1,112 payment per month. This does not include any insurance, any gas, just the car note. The loan on the car is that amount. A professional and nightlife wardrobe. She had told us that she was planning on spending $1,000 on that. Social life, she wants to go out to happy hour, she wants to do the club, and then she wants to do the brunch. I figured that would be about $200 a week, and if she does that every week, that'll be $800 a month. Happy hour, if you go out to happy hour, a couple of drinks, you're going to spend about $50. And when she goes out to the club, she says she's splitting that club price tag at the VIP 5 ways for $100 each. And then she told me on Sundays, we brunch. And she would make sure that she brunched at a place that had $20 bottomless mimosas. Because that would be the best deal. She can drink as much as she wanted to drink. I said, okay, but you have the $20 bottomless mimosas. Are you eating anything? She said, duh, Veri, Keri, I have to get the seafood omelet and the stuffed blueberry French toast. That is the bomb. $20 bottomless mimosas and $25 for food, that's $45 before taxing and tipping. So once you add in your taxes and your tipping, you're at $50 plus for this brunch. So you'll be spending about $200 a week for your social life, and that's $800 a month. I take a little sip for that. Hair and nails done every 2 weeks. That'll run you about $300. Food delivery service. That'll run you about $800 a month. If you spend at minimum most of these food delivery services, you're spending about $20 or more. So let's just say on the low end, you're spending $20. That includes your service fees, your delivery fees, your food and everything. $20, which I think is kind of unrealistic. But let's just go with it. $20 for lunch, $20 for dinner, that's $40 a day. And let's say you do that 20 times a month, that's $800 a month for food delivery services. And you travel to have your winter and your summer vacation and your weekend getaways, you're going to have to sock away about $600 a month. And your entrepreneurship and side hustle. I put question marks by that because when I asked her how much she was going to save for that, she said, whatever amount was left over from my budget, I'll just throw it in my side hustle entrepreneurship category. So after tallying up all of her expenses for her ideal lifestyle, we come to $7,112. And that's her monthly expense. Then we look at the total annual expense. How much would this cost for an entire year? That would be $85,344. And this is after tax money. She's going to need $85,344 after tax. So what does that really mean? That means in order to have $85,344 to spend after tax, As a single adult, you're going to need to make about $125,000 a year. What does Finna Be Rich actually make? Well, her actual gross salary for the year is $55,000. And so her annual take-home pay after we adjust it for taxes being taken out is $41,232. So basically, Finna Be Rich is over budget with this ideal lifestyle in mind by $44,112. So after Finna Be Rich looks at her ideal lifestyle with the price tags next to it, I decided to give her my analysis. I told her, Finna Be Rich is about to finna be broke. All the items on your list, Finna Be Rich, are wants. They are not needs. You did not list one need on your list. And so I further explained to her, needs that were omitted, Finna Be Rich, are items like taxes, retirement savings, emergency fund savings, savings for your goals, health insurance, renter's insurance, student loans, gas for this automobile that you're going to purchase, auto insurance for this automobile that you plan to purchase, utilities like your electric, your water, etc. For the apartment that you plan on having. Then you have your cell phone bill. Then you have your internet and streaming service. Then you have miscellaneous items that come up like co-pays, car registrations, etc. So I said, so in addition to whatever you had for your lifestyle, your ideal lifestyle, you've omitted all of these other categories. And so guess what happens after you put this all in reality? Here are the feelings that Finna Be Rich is experiencing. At this point, after she hears all of this, she feels defeated. She feels overwhelmed. She feels like, what's the point? Like, what's the point of even going to college? And she feels like, I had more money as a college student than I did as a professional. And she also feels lost. All these feelings are valid. Most young adults will feel all of these emotions once they actually sit down and see what it actually takes to be an adult. And yes, I felt that same way too when I was 18 years old and had to take on all these responsibilities myself. You're just like, whoa, it's a lot. But again, with some proper guidance and some trial and error and actually getting out there and doing it, actually getting out there and adulting, you will be a pro at adulting in no time. So after a while, you just let those feelings sink in, let her experience her feelings, and then we come up with a plan. After she, collects herself together, after Finna Be Rich, gets a hold of herself, she says, okay, maybe I was a little too ambitious with my ideal lifestyle, but I know one day I'll get there. And I said, you know what? It is always acceptable to dream beyond your, wildest imagination, because then you know what you're reaching for. But you also have to take reality into consideration, and in that instance, you can now put a plan together so that you can achieve those goals or that ideal lifestyle that you eventually want. So my next steps that I told Finna Be Rich that she needs to take after we did this analysis, I said, what you need to do is to calculate your net take-home pay in order to determine what you're working with and develop a new budget within your means. Now, due to time constraints and trying to keep this video at a reasonable length, although I know it's probably super long, and I want to respect the other collaborators in this collaboration, I am not able to go through the revised budget that will fit within Finna Be Rich's means. But if that's something you're interested in, trying to see how to rework a budget to fit within your means, please leave a comment below to let me know that's some content you would like to see in the future. So there are many websites that you can go to that will give you net pay take-home calculators. One of them is called smartassets.com. You can go over there, plug in all of your information, and it will spit out what your actual check will be once you take it home. Because again, you don't get to take home that $2,292 that her company says that you're going to pay her twice a month. After you take taxes and all sorts of other deductions out, you're left with what's called net pay, or the amount you actually get to take home. After you calculate that amount, you need to figure out what the total upfront one-time cost you will incur in order to move into your first apartment. So you're going to think about, okay, how much money do I need to save in order to actually move out into my own apartment at some point? What fees and expenses will I have? And some of these fees will be one-time fees. Now, when we redo the budget, let's just back it up. When she gets her take-home pay and redoes her budget to include all of those things like taxes, retirement, savings, health insurance, plus an apartment that she can actually afford and all of that. Those are going to be her new monthly expenses that she's going to incur every single month. So once she gets that underway, she knows what she's going to need to have every single month in order to live on her own. In addition to that, she's also going to need some upfront one-time costs in order to move into her apartment. And so what do I mean by that? So when you move into an apartment, more than likely, the landlord is going to require you to have a security deposit. Now, security deposits vary from state to state. There are some rules on security deposits, but as a general rule of thumb, you might have to have the security deposit that will be equal to 1 month's rent, and then they may require you to have first month's rent and last month's rent. So that's a total of 3 months' rent. And then you will probably need deposits for utilities. So in order to get your electric turned on, your water turned on, trash collection, all of these things, depending on whether or not you have good credit, you will be required to pay some deposits. And those deposits can range anywhere from $0 on up to maybe $100 or a couple of $100. It depends on the laws in your state and your credit worthiness, but make sure you account for that. Then you're going to need furniture. Whatever furniture that you need to furnish that apartment, at least your basics. Then you also need to account for rental applications. When you apply for certain apartments, you will have to pay an application fee so they can do background checks and things like that on you. And then also, if this is going to be your very first apartment, let's say you never moved off campus while you were attending college. So this is your absolute first apartment. You might also want to consider the fact that the apartment complex will probably ask for a guarantor. And that's basically, probably your parents saying, hey, if this person does not pay the rent, you're on the hook for the rent, because you really haven't established a good history of paying your bills and having an apartment. So that is also something to consider. I will not go into the details on a guarantor and what I suggest parents do. But if you like this type of information and would like to hear more, leave a comment down below and let me know that, hey, I like this type of content. I'd like you to expand or explain or go into depth a little bit more. And then finally, what I would say, a reasonable amount to budget for moving out for upfront one-time cost to move into your own apartment will be at minimum $5,000 to $7,000. That's at minimum. So the next step that you're going to do after you've calculated and made a new budget that's within your means, after you calculated how much you need to move out on your own, you're now going to give your parents 50% of your take-home pay until you move out. Yep, You heard me right. You're going to give your parent basically one whole paycheck. You get paid twice a month, right? You're going to give one of those paychecks, and for this example, her take-home pay is going to be around $1,700 a month. So you're going to give your parent $1,700 a month, and you're going to give them that amount every single month until you move out. So what do they do with the other 50% of their check? So you're giving 50% to your parents, then you still have 50% left. You still have $1,700, a little over $1,700 left for yourself for the month. What you're going to be doing as this young adult is taking care of the rest of your needs. So whatever gas money you need to put in your car, or if you don't take a car to work, whatever, monthly train passes and things like that to get to work, you'll be responsible for that. You'll be responsible for your auto insurance. So if you're on your parents' insurance, now's the time to come off. You need to be paying for your auto insurance, your medical insurance, all of those needs that you are going to incur and have to have once you move out of your apartment. You're going to be paying those. And then that way you're going to get a real good sense of what I really have left over for brunching, for socializing, for all the little things that you want to do. Then you're also going to agree on a move out date. And then the funds that you gave your parents up until you moved out is going to assist you with moving out and moving to your own apartment. And so then you need to finally move out, and congratulations, you're independent. Here are a couple of tips that I would like to discuss with parents. I know you might seem shocked, like, what? There's no way I'm going to take $1,700 from my kid. Your job as a parent is to teach them financial responsibility. Now, allowing them to just keep all of their money and spend it however they want, going out to have brunch, going out to, spend time in VIP clubs and all of that, that's not going to help them at all. Your job is to make sure that they are uncomfortable at home, uncomfortable to the point that they want to, get out and get on their own. And also, it gives them a realistic picture of what it is. If you're allowing your child to stay home and they are going out and they're working, but they get to keep their entire paycheck, they have no responsibility of rent or any other expenses, they are still not going to learn. They will forever be stuck at home because they're going to create a lifestyle that is unrealistic. Or, they're going to continue to overspend. And in the worst case scenario, they'll spend all their money on their wants. And then they'll be coming to ask mom and dad, hey mom, can I get some gas money? They'll be coming to you for their needs. And there's no way that a adult child should be living with their parents and they have a full-time career job needing to ask you for money. No, ma'am. Also, if your children just want to stay home, let's say they have a large amounts of student loan debt and they just want to pay that debt down, again, they must take at least 50%, one full paycheck, $1,700 a month, and throw it on that debt and continue to attack that debt. When they don't do that, then you need to start taking that 50% as your living fee, rent, utilities, food, and all the things that they're utilizing while they're at home. And that will teach them financial responsibility. Leave a comment below and let me know, at what age did you get your first apartment, and what age would you have considered yourself completely financially independent, where your parents were no longer giving you any money each month, you were handling your own bills. For me, I was completely financially independent at the age of 18. I got my first apartment at 18 and I have been adulting ever since then. And again, it has been a struggle, but it has really taught me how to be, a responsible individual. And I've been able to pass on what I've learned to both my daughters, one who is already graduated from college and she is on her own. She lives in her own place. She pays all of her own bills, and I am so proud. I couldn't be more proud of her. And then I have Ray. You guys know Ray. She just completed her first year of college, and hopefully she is on the same path to becoming independent. So guys, be sure to check out the videos of the other women in this collaboration. And until next time, I'm going to keep calm and carry on. Bye guys.